Black Christmas 2019 was directed by Sophia Takal, who directed Green and Always Shine. She wrote this along with April Wolf, and it is a remake of a 1974 Christmas-themed slasher that was they reached the dizzying heights of decent to okay. I mean, it isn't bad. It hasn't aged well, but it is the better of the three. The 2006 version wasn't all that great. Now, it had its moments. The cast was decent, and it did pump up the gore. And if you like gore for the sake of gore, you'll like a few scenes in that. But it was very much a callback to the 74 version. In this, it just kind of tries to take the whole theme of it and turn it on its head. It just tries to have a whole bunch of fun with it. You would think that's what it would try to do, but nope. This is from Blumhouse, and Blumhouse doesn't always like to do things for fun. Now, they take properties that are cheap, horror movies in particular, and make them like say for 5-10 million at the most. That's including advertising, and they make a shit ton of money back because idiots like me will go sit and watch bullshit like this, and that's what this movie is. This movie is bullshit. Now, I expected it to be absolute shit from the trailer. I expected the trailer to, present nothing except the best and worst moments, and it was going to be every bit of the excruciating 92 minutes that it was. The problem is I expected to watch something which I was at least going to be able to laugh at, and it was going to have some fun with its concept, and it was going to have a cast of people that were at least in on the joke, that were having fun with it and everything. Nope, everybody played their characters straight here, even with the goofiness that I'm going to get into here in a little bit with the spoilers. The funniest thing about this movie is it takes itself so seriously despite the bonkers premise and the bonkers twist that it tries to put on the whole slasher thing and the whole theme of the previous two movies. Because it takes place at a college. There's a sister sorority, a bunch of sorority sisters, and there's also a male sorority. And this movie takes say this is the whole thing about men being bad and women being good, and it does this. And for good measure. And that's actually in about the first 15 minutes. They hit you over the head like that. Let me make it clear. This movie could have addressed some really good things about stuff that takes place on college campuses in the guise of a horror movie. There are certain things that need to be addressed. Women should be seen, as equal. Honestly, they should. They should know that they have, they have more than just a voice. They are human beings and everything. The problem is this movie turns the girls and the guys into cookie cutters. Just cookie cutter characters. Girls are good, guys are bad, or there's one on each side that may not be all that bad. They may switch sides and everything. But no, that's pretty much what it is. It's very much a sickening feminism, toxic masculinity thing. And it's kind of it. I don't even want to say it it's like what society is right now. It's almost like laughable how they did it because it's like they looked at everything on social media and said, hey, how can we turn this into a movie, but also not even present some fun with it? We can present like one or two scenes that might be any kind of fun, and that's about it. The main character, played by Imogen Poots, who's in I Kill Giants, she plays Riley. She, earlier in her time on the college campus, was a victim of sexual assault. I'm going to choose my words carefully on that, as anyone should that does a review of this movie and of anything that takes place with that subject matter in said movie. So she is been overcoming that, as it would be tough to deal with something so terrible. Regardless of who you are, it'd be terrible that somebody would take advantage of you like that. The thing is you would think, okay, that could empower her, that could make her this strong character, and she has confronted the guy that did it and called him out on it, and he was part of that sorority, but he was even part of the college, but maybe he's not so much part of the college, except he's visiting at one point, and she doesn't want to confront him. Nobody would, honestly. There's one good scene in the first 30 minutes where she's performing with a bunch of her sorority sisters. Are dressed up as as Santa's slaves. I assume is the correct terminology for that. They're dressed up as like Mrs. Claus in a sexy, costume, I guess. And they turn the song. Riley turns the song into, you know, calling out the accuser, or calling out the assaulter rather. Just basically throwing it right at him, and in front of a lot of people, some sorority brothers, but also a lot of sorority sisters, and one particular guy that she takes a liking to takes a liking to her. um and from there, they start getting these weird texts and everything. They've been getting texts before, but ever since then they've been getting weird texts on this app called Yip Yap, I think. And I'm vastly more fascinated to find out who thought the term Yip Yap was a good idea and a good name for an app. But then again, there's some crazy apps out there. So from there, they're getting these messages. Sorority sisters turn up missing because it's winter break. And all of a sudden, so okay, you got all your slasher tropes, but nope, they decide to do a weird twist and everything and do something almost supernatural and spoopy, but it doesn't exactly work all that well because it's bullshit and it's ridiculous and it makes no goddamn sense and they don't have any fun with it. How can you not have fun with something like that? I'll get to that here in just a little bit. With this movie, though, every character makes every wrong decision just to advance the plot. They stretch these scenes out to their absolute limits to fill the 92 minutes. And this was, the movie was so cookie cutter, the characters were so cookie cutter. I expected the killer, what would have actually made it better is having the killer take his victims, make cookies out of them, and eat them, or feed them to the other people. It's like, I'm going to feed the victims to you and this kind of stuff and everything. In fact, I want to see that movie. I demand to see that movie from Blumhouse, because they would obviously make a fortune, because I would go watch it because I'm an idiot when it comes to horror, but it's also more interesting than anything that happened here. Let me make it clear that the cast, the actual actors here, I hope go on to do some better things. It also has Cary Elwes in it as a professor, a creepy professor. Wesley from Princess Bride. And also, he was the lead in Robin Hood Men in Tights, and he was the lead in Saw and everything. Yes, the guy from Robin Hood Men in Tights and Princess Bride was in this, and I hope he got paid at least 7 figures, at least $1 million, if not 2. Though if this budget was above 3 million, I'd be amazed. I don't know how the fuck he was in this. I have no goddamn idea. This movie actually frustrated me and made me angry. It made me angrier than I expected, because I'm like just watching it, just thinking, okay, come on, have some fun with this, have some fun with this, have some fun. Why are you not having fun with this? And it was just so bargain basement and so generic. It actually frustrated me. It angered me more than it probably should have. I have seen worse movies than this. This movie is going to be on my worst of the year list. I'm just telling you that. My worst of the year list will probably be up within the next 2 weeks. I would imagine probably out sometime just after Christmas. But anyway, I'm going to get into some spoiler territory. So here we go. We're going to get into spoilers right around here for 8:15. But yeah, this movie was shit. Do not fucking watch it. It is absolute goddamn shit. So anyway, 3, 2, 1, and go. And if you're watching from here on, I'm sorry. But with this, boy, this movie, I mean, you have a girl that gets dispatched via icicle. Okay, cool, whatever. It's also a PG-13 horror movie, so they don't really show much blood or anything. And that whole thing about, the men's sorority and stuff like that, they just, again, beat you over the head where these guys are just like creeps and they want women to be subservient to them. And oh, there was this bust for the founder of the college that was removed after a petition because the guy owned slaves in the North and he practiced the dark arts. And the dark arts thing is important because the sorority they take the bust into their room. Apparently it wasn't destroyed or anything. Oh no, it was just removed from this display in the college hall. But the guys find out, hey, it has some weird black goo that gives everybody supernatural powers. We can control people. We can control pledges and everything and create an army of people to kill. That's pretty much it. It's like you're using black goo out of in a 200-year-old, the bust of a 200-year-old guy that founded the college, or a guy from 200 years ago that found that college, and you're going to not have fun with it. Black mind controlling goo. Oh, and there's a leader guy that's in a weird mask and everything that gives people headaches and does and does stuff like mind control and everything, and they don't dive into that. They just throw it out there. Oh, hey, here it is. We ran out of material. We're not going to go with a typical slasher, so here's this. Yes, black goo out of a bust. A statue bust. I can't believe that I'm saying that in 2019 and that the movie did not have more fun. It was like it was 10W30. I don't know what the fuck it was. Maybe it was 2050 oil. Again, and the whole thing of the women, the sisters getting dispatched and stuff like that. One of the sisters betrays Riley near the end. Her and her best friend, Chris, have a bit of a falling out, but then Chris comes to the rescue with all the rest of the sorority sisters because there's more of these guys attacking the other sorority house. This is a big campus, yet it also felt very empty. It was like there were a couple houses, and that was it. And then there was the big house, and then there was another big house. And a security guard that ends up getting dispatched and everything, big old climactic scene where, Chris has all the other sorority sisters, and they attack and they destroy and everything. And then Riley finally has to face her, her assaulter and, take care of him. And then she destroys the bust and throws it. And the black goo goes everywhere. And everybody falls. The leader falls down. People start dying. All that and everything. And then everybody gets killed. And they get burned alive because they get trapped in the room as the girls leave, and they put some paddles, the pledge paddle things in the door, and everybody dies. Hooray! Oh, and there was a white cat that was the best actor in the movie that they show a mid-credit sequence of licking some of the black goo from one of the pledges that was dispatched in the goddamn kitchen. Yeah, when your best part is a white cat that's in like 3 scenes, maybe 4 at the most, that's not good. Once again, I wish nothing but the best for the cast on this, especially the younger cast that has not been featured in so many movies, but it's absolute dog shit. It's one of the worst movies I've seen this year. If it had not been for The Haunting of Sharon Tate, this may have been number 1. Bit of a spoiler, sorry, but you probably can guess why I hate The Haunting of Sharon Tate. But yeah, Black Christmas 2019 F. Gets an F. Maybe a pull up there, maybe not. I don't fucking know. But this movie, goddamn rotten, should have been on Netflix. It should have been a Netflix original movie. But then again, I can't imagine Netflix would have thrown more than like $500,000 towards this. So they've thrown a lot of money to other stuff. But anyway, this movie fucking broke me. It just fucking broke me. And for PG-13, you can make a slasher movie fun for PG-13. And they didn't want to make it fun. Black goo coming out of a freaking statue bust. How do you not have fun with that? Fuck this movie. Fuck this goddamn movie for being creative. Fuck you, Blumhouse. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.